Inspector General of Police, Mr. Olukayode Egbetokun, has pledged to protect rights, promote welfare, and provide opportunities for the growth and development of Nigerian youth. Egbetokun made the pledge during the Nigeria Police Force Youth Conference organized to mark the 2024 International Youth Day on Monday in Abuja. The conference, with the theme Enhancing Nigeria Youth Value for National Security Intelligence, was organized by the Nigeria Police in collaboration with UNESCO. Now, the IG said the day is more than a celebration, but a reminder of crucial role young people play in societies and global community. This day underscores the importance of empowering youth, amplifying their voices, and ensuring that their contributions are acknowledged and nurtured. Well, it is a celebration of the transformative powers of the young people in driving positive change and shaping a better future. Now, Egbetokun has said that the theme was a reminder that the strength and future of the country was in the hands of the youth. According to him, the role of the youth are pivotal in driving social change, redesigning our security architecture, and advancing sustainable development. He said Nigeria Police will continue to harness the energy, creativity, and idealism of Nigerian youth in building a safer and more secure and prosperous country. The Nigeria Police Force is committed to creating a secured environment that will empower our youth to realize their full potentials. Wow. Now, how much would you say that, having in mind now that the youths are not dispensable, that they cannot be removed from the picture of national security, how much would you say that the government are utilizing the importance of the young people in fighting insecurity in Nigeria, and the fight against insecurity in Nigeria?
Wow, this is a very serious topic or subject. And I always tell people that you can't drive a system, you can't drive a society without the youth playing an active role. Because they are the direct beneficiary of whatever policy, whether the government or the private sectors are enacting, either positively or negatively. The reason is because the youth, in quote, of course, nobody knows who will die first, but the youth, in quote, has a longer time to spend on planet Earth. So the IG capturing that in his statement is quite commendable. But I want to say that it's easier said than done. Yes, like we've seen. Our leaders keep telling us that the youth, the future of the nation lies in the hands of the youth. And in recent times, the youth are also beginning to say, when would that our future come? Because even as youth, we are here to begin to take active part in certain government or in crucial government policies. Now, talking about security in this sense, there is no two ways about it. There is no how security of the people, security of the nation can be well achieved without the involvement of the youth in security issues. So it's something that the IG needs to look at very critically and go beyond the point of just statement, or probably paper presentation during conference and all of that, to engaging the youth very proactively. And if we dig further, I think that's the idea of the state or community policing issue that has not also, should I use the word, seen the light of the day, in Nigeria.
So you're also in support of the state policing or community policing?
Sure, I do, because it takes somebody that understands a terrain. It takes somebody that knows, the geographical location of a particular area, not just studying it online or using technologies to study the environment. It takes somebody that, have stayed within a particular geographical location to also guide and protect what is within that environment or destroy it. You understand the point?
What about the talks about people that it might be abused by state governors? That's for state policing now.
That's where the checkmating comes in. You're not giving them autonomy. They shouldn't have the full power to decide in totality what there should be. Some power should be reserved. Some form of regulation should be kept at the national. So I wouldn't subscribe that the state government should be given sole responsibility to, no. There should be separation of power. Even as you're doing that separation of power, certain form of responsibility, checkmating, overseeing the activities at the grassroots. A different group should be kept aside to do that particular job.
That means you also agree that it might be abused?
Definitely. There is nothing good that cannot be abused. So it's not just peculiar to the security aspect.
Yes. Yeah. But even if it's at the national, it still can be abused?
Sure, it can, but I believe that the effect of having it at the grassroots, operating it from the grassroots, will be very much positive compared to what we have currently.
Let's look at security in general now in Nigeria, looking at engaging the youths further. I know that we have young people in our security agencies that's still engaging the youths. We can't take that away. We cannot say that they're not completely engaging the youths. We have that. So what do you think they can do further? Aside the fact that you have mentioned community policing, where the people in the community understand the terrain better. But let's look at what else the IG especially or the government can do to further engage the youths in security matters.
Yeah, one of the things that the government can do is to leverage on technology. Our government must understand that we have come to the point where technology is driving the entire process, the global movement. The technology is leading, and the youth have a major role to play. Of course, they are playing a major role in that particular sector. So the government will have to engage the youth and then train them more on the area of technology in order to use technology to run the security process. So that is the area I'm looking at, not just recruiting young persons. You give them uniform. We have about 50,000 or 20,000 youth to join the security. No, that is not the security I'm looking at. This technology is well understood by the Generation X, which is where we found ourselves, where we belong. So the government should make good use of this potential that the youth has, harness it very well, and then use it to run the security architecture of the nation. So training of our young persons in that area of ICT, cyber security, and all of that is very key.
Getting them involved.
Exactly.
That's one issue that we have seen in our security parastatals, where there are issues, and we have to follow some mundane, practices to handle security that is advanced.
Yeah, cloud security.
Do you understand? So we have these guys on the other side, on the negative side, advancing in technology and doing some really big things, and then we have the people who are after them, the cyber security personnel who are after them, not using that updated security measure to tackle it. Exactly. But aside that, now let's look at the statements of the youths. Let's look at what the youths are saying, especially about security in Nigeria now. Are their voices being heard? What about, because the IG mentioned the voices of the youths.
Yeah.
What about listening to the voices of the youths? What about getting them even more involved? For instance, I might not want to get into the security deal. Do you understand? I might not want to be a security agent. You understand? I might not want to be in the police or army or any of the forces. But how can I also play my own role in the security of my nation in whatever field that I am in?
You find yourself. Wow. Just like you said, the voice of the youth may have been heard, but believe me, is yet to be implemented when it comes to security. Let me just use one aspect as a reference point. For instance, in this country, we've been lamenting issue of herdsmen is all over, right? Issue of attack on farm produce.
Yes.
Issue of, kidnapping and all of that. And people are shouting. The young people are lamenting. The elderly, everybody is. How has this, voice, how has the message that has been going out there, how has it been implemented by the security agencies? You want to tell me that it's very difficult to mount cameras on our major junctions, manned satellites here and there that you can use to track some of the... Is it too difficult for a country to do? A country like Nigeria? I don't think. So if you ask me, I will tell you that the voices of our youth is yet to be recognized. The recommendation of the youth, the recommendation of the masses on security, sector is yet to be implemented by the relevant agencies. It is yet to be implemented. Otherwise, what we are recording, what we are seeing, in Nigeria, I don't think those things should be. Of course, there is no how you will eradicate insecurity completely from an area, but there are some level of, insecurity, certain things we hear that shouldn't be done. That shouldn't be done in a developing country like Nigeria.
So we should get everybody involved. All hands need to be on deck.
All hands needs to be on deck. And the issue of training, like I said before, I'm just praying that a day will come where we begin to see, real partnership between the security agencies and the community leadership, where the traditional rulers, the CDC chairman of community, from time to time will constantly be attending meetings with the commissioners of police, and then strategies will be marshaled out and then implemented on how to guide their areas, not just ceremonial meetings. I mean meetings that will be evaluated after implementing some of the policies or suggestions, meetings that will be followed up. I'm looking forward to seeing that day, and I believe it will come. There is no how you can operate a security system and address insecurity without the grassroots personnel being involved. And then in most communities, we have vigilantes, we have security personnel at the grassroots level. Another way to boost what these people are doing is to, is for the government to recognize them. The security agencies, especially the police, needs to identify these persons that are already doing this work, that are already trying to, consolidate or to support what they are doing at the grassroots. They need to capture them in their own database and then encourage them by releasing some form of stipends. That would be a kind of also creating job for them. Not these people just doing it at the level of the community and then sourcing for whatever that they need, to fund the system. So if the IG is saying that the voice of the youth, of course, recognizing the role of the youth in security, one of the ways he will show that he has actually understood and has acknowledged the role of the youth is by going to the various areas, go down to the grassroots where this security, architecture is invoked or are operational, and then engage them meaningfully. They should be part of, not just on paper, not just answering the name, we work with police. No, this person should be trained and they should be part of the security system. And some form of encouragement.
I think the training is actually for everybody, even the people who are already involved, the people in these agencies and parastatals of security. They should also be trained and retrained, like it was actually suggested yesterday by one of our guests. But let's look at the next story.